Let's now turn to other stories. Canada's Transportation Safety Board says it is launching an investigation after the implosion of the Titan submersible left all 5 passengers dead. Tributes have been paid to Hamish Hardin, who would have turned 59 on Saturday, Shahzada Dawood, 48, and his son Suleiman Dawood, 19, Paul-Henri Najolet, 77, and Stockton Ross, 61. Emails since show that concerns from an expert over the safety of the Titan sub were dismissed by CEO Rush in 2018. Other industry experts have also raised questions following the catastrophic implosion. Dick Barton, the first British man to dive to the wreck of the Titanic, questioned the design and maintenance of the sub, saying there were many red flags flying here. OceanGate's co-founder, who left the firm a decade ago, told the BBC the sub went through a rigorous test program. It has emerged the U.S. Navy originally detected an acoustic anomaly consistent with an implosion shortly after the Titan lost contact on Sunday. And joining me on the News at 10 to discuss the Titanic submersible is a global affairs analyst, Ibidolakbo Ajayi. Good to have you join us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Let me just state that you're joining us from virtually from the U.S., but I just want to get your thoughts on this and all that has played out. 111 years after the Titanic sank, we're also now seeing more lives being taken in an attempt to, go see the wreckage of the Titanic. What's your thought on this?
Well, firstly, commiserations with the families of those that perished on that voyage down to the depth of the ocean to see the wreck of the Titanic. And it was truly a sad event, especially here in the United States, where all efforts were made by the U.S. Coastal Guard, the U.S. Navy, to try and rescue the crew and those on board submersible. For me, I think I will probably lean more on the side of those that had raised concerns about the safety of the vessel, because the reports that have been coming out recently suggested that the CEO of the company, OceanGate, was severely, they brought it to his notice that they didn't think that the vessel as made was safe enough to continue to make those trips. Now, bear in mind that this was an annual event for OceanGate. They had made 3 previous trips to the wreck of the Titanic. So they started in 2021. They did one in 2022, and this would have been the fourth. This was the 3rd one, actually. And so, going by what experts said about the construction of the submersible, it appears as if those items were not certified. Even the submersible itself was not certified by regulatory bodies.
Mr. Ibidolakbo Ajayi, because you just talked about the questions that experts are raising as to how private sector deep sea expeditions are regulated, and we also understand, like you said, that this particular vessel was not certified because certification actually is not mandatory, especially when it's listed for private use. But now that this has happened, what needs to happen?
Well, I think because it's a very, very close-knit community for those that do the deep sea exploration, now they need to probably have some standards put in place for these vessels that are used to undertake these expeditions. I was privileged to watch filmmaker James Cameron on TV yesterday, and he has made several trips down to the depths of the Titanic and even sometimes beyond. And he clearly enumerated the issues that they saw with the Titan, in that, using carbon fiber was a problem because the longer you do undertake those trips, there's degradation, and basically it would not be able to withstand the pressure that you get at that depth. And I think that was pretty much what happened, because it was just something that it sounded like it was an accident that was waiting to happen. And he made a very, very interesting comment in saying, and he kind of drew a parallel between this situation and what had happened to the Titanic itself 111 years ago, when the captain was warned about the impending danger.
And you know, what the captain said, you know, this ship is unsinkable. And exactly what we're seeing, the same, you know, sentiments we understand were also, you know, made by now late Stockton Rush, who also said, look, this particular sub is also, you know, in that sense, unsinkable. But people have died. And we understand that some members of that company knew, because of the issues that were raised by employees and lawsuits that were also, you know, filed, knew that this particular submersible had challenges. Where does accountability lie?
Well, the U.S. government typically will have the necessary body kind of investigate, and they will try to determine, you know, how this could have happened. Again, I believe they will probably have to put some standards in place that anything that's going to go down to that kind of depth needs to meet certain standards. And that's something that I expect will happen, because it's something that people will always be intrigued to want to take those expeditions. So what you need to see is to make it as safe as possible. Obviously, there are risks in every aspect of life, you know, so, and people knew the risks they were taking, but at least, you know, do not let it be for something that you can actually take care of, you know. So I think that's probably what we're going to see happen in the coming weeks and months.
Well, we are monitoring that investigation. Canada has started its own investigation. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for talking to us, as always. Global Affairs Analyst Ibido Lakbo Ajayi.
Thank you for having me.